I dropped out of one of the top ranked coding bootcamps in the US within my very first week. Sounds bad, but in about 30 seconds, you're going to hear about a very happy ending. But first, why did I quit this bootcamp? Because I didn't just want to learn to code. I wanted to get hired as a professional programmer. And that was a whole other problem. A big problem that even top-rated bootcamps couldn't solve. Because I was a 37-year-old lawyer, and I had been on the hiring side in 4 countries at this time, and I knew how hiring works. But frankly, the bootcamp instructors did not. Most of my instructors had not even got their first engineering jobs because they were hired by the bootcamps to show that their bootcamp graduates got IT jobs. But actually, these people were not professional coders, and they had never actually changed careers themselves. They did know a little bit about coding, sure, they had some theory, but they were not actual engineers, no practical experience, and there is a huge difference, right? So, how are these guys going to teach me how to do something they had never done? That's why I quit. I went back to work, so I wasn't unemployed. And by keeping my salary coming in and not having stupid income sharing pressure, I could do what was right for my long-term career success and not settle for crappy jobs just to get my foot in the door. And that's why just 8 short months later, I applied for 4 engineering jobs and got all 4 offers. I beat out the people who had years of coding experience. And these were actual real software engineering jobs, not just IT jobs or customer support or QA analyst, actual software engineering, high-paying coding jobs. And then just a year after that, I had multiple big tech interviews and I chose to join Google as an engineer. This was back in 2020. And since then, I've been mentoring busy professionals like you who are wondering if a bootcamp is even worth it. I'll show you my track record and testimonials in just a moment. Now, before we go on, let me ask you for a small favor, please. Please just set aside the next 10 to 15 minutes to pay close attention. It's your choice, of course, if you want to do anything with the information I'm about to give you, but just forgetting about social media for 10 minutes and keeping an open mind to what you don't know and what new information you can get will probably give you the best chance to know what's actually going to take you all the way to success as a coder. Okay? Fair? Do we have a deal? All right. So look, don't get me wrong. Bootcamps are good at what they do, but they only work for people in certain privileges and advantages. Bootcamps are great if you can afford to not have a job, if you and your family can live off savings or your partner's income, and you can attend classes according to their rigid schedules. Bootcamps could even work if you're okay with high pressure, fast-paced kind of environments where you're not sure if you're learning, but you're just able to keep up and you're dead sure you're not going to fall behind in that environment. Look, they'll even work if you don't really care what kind of coding job. You just want to get any job in IT, right? You're looking for a one-size-fits-all solution, a kind of factory approach. That could work. Typically, if you're under the age of 25 or 30 and can live with your parents, then bootcamps could work out quite well for you. But that definitely wasn't my situation. I was 37. And if you're like me, you're a busy professional with responsibilities and you like the idea of holding onto your job and income while you learn to code, right? Takes the risks away. And you can learn directly from someone who has done it themselves. Well, then maybe you need to consider something better than a traditional bootcamp. Now, I've taught dozens of people around the planet to do it safely, to keep their jobs, keep their income coming in, and sustainably actually learn to code and get hired. And I'll show you how in a moment. So essentially, I guarantee 3 key results to you. 1, an end-to-end coding roadmap. No matter what skill level you're currently at, I will make you a customized plan for your starting level all the way to professional grade coding skills, okay? Now you'll get this within your first month, and it doesn't matter if you've not coded before. In fact, 70% of my students in the last 12 months had 0 coding background, and no surprises, the remaining 30% came from computer science schools or boot camps, and they didn't really know how to be real world engineers. So I give you personal mentoring and guidance every step of the way. Okay. Number 2, by following the plan I give you, you will learn to code. No question about it in about 3 months. No dramas. But this is not 2012 anymore, folks. So that's not going to make you a job ready. Okay. Just learning to code is not going to be enough for a job, no matter what the bootcamp ads tell you. It's just not. So I'm going to build you up to a professional grade, and I'm going to prepare you for specific engineering roles that you want, not just any IT job, right? Specifically for the skills you need to succeed in the kind of job you want. And that means handling the 6 to 9 different types of coding interviews that do happen. Okay, you don't need to be crazy stressed about interviews anymore. And you certainly don't have to take any IT job that comes your way just to meet someone's statistics. There's no point choosing a job that kills your career and your soul. Now, I know how to do this because I've done it for myself. And I've been on the hiring side in 3 totally different careers in the last 20 years. I've also done tech interviewing and tech hiring, including at places like Google. So I really know what the best companies look for, and I know what the best companies must have. Now, the third key result that I'm going to give you is I'm going to show you how to always generate opportunities for your career. Look, successful people, and I've seen this everywhere in the world, successful people take charge of their careers, and I will show you how to be the CEO of your own life and career. Now, I don't care what job you're in, there is no job security anymore, right? Those days are gone, that world's over. So you really need to learn how to always generate career opportunities for the next 20 to 30 years. That's the only way you're going to be safe and secure. And frankly, learning to code is not enough. Just ask all the bootcamp grads that came to me for coaching, okay? So you actually have to know how to convince recruiters to give you opportunities, interviews. That's the real goal. What's the point of learning all that code if you get 0 interviews, right? You're all dressed up with no party to go to. Now, I will show you everything you need to do to get those 3 outcomes. I'll take all the guesswork, and as I said, I guarantee this. If you follow the training that I give you and the custom plan that I give you and you don't get the results, I'll work with you until you do, all right, for free. You can have your money back too if you want. I don't want it. So why am I confident enough to make such a big promise like this? It's simple. You just look at my track record, okay? Go ahead and Google Zubin from lawyer to engineer and see what shows up. Go find me on LinkedIn or Free Code Camp or YouTube or listen to the podcasts I've been on. There are even multiple media articles on me. You can look at my track record, and if you want, you can also look at the track record of my students. Just in the last couple of years, I've helped customer service reps, Amazon drivers, teachers, stay-at-home moms, theater artists, clinical psychologists, lawyers, etc. All of them learn how to code while they keep their jobs and their families. I've helped people like Milos, Jen, Max, Victoria, Martha, Siddharth, Neha, Matt, Alexander, etc. And several have landed internationally remote roles too. So please take a look at my very public profile. And if you want to discuss whether my Inner Circle program is right for you, then just book a call. It's free. Just click on the booking link at the end of this video and we can talk about how this could work for you. Now, if you want to know why this works so well, there are several strategies, but here are the 2 big reasons. Number 1, the first reason why I'm able to get these sorts of results for myself and for my students in 8 different countries now is because I've developed a system called the MED, the minimum effective dose. And this inverts conventional thinking on its head. Instead of learning as much as you can, we actually flip it around and try and learn as little as we need to get our foot in the door, to get the job, right? Because there's way too much information on the internet. You know that. That's probably why you're already jumping around from tutorial to course to blog and the next shiny object. It gets very overwhelming and you make very little progress. And frankly, that's probably why you're a little bit burnt out and lost as well, okay? So for example, many of my students are bootcamp grads who came to me because they moved way too fast in the bootcamp. They went very broad, not deep enough. They weren't supported. They were quite overwhelmed and they felt quite lonely through the whole process and they just couldn't keep up. So it's not just that they're not confident. Okay, it's that their ability to actually build software is non-existent. They can't actually do real-world software engineering. So naturally, they're not able to get any interviews. Instead, the process I use is not rushed. It's not high pressure. It's systematic. You keep your job, you keep your income, you take all the pressure off, and you just follow the MED roadmap, the minimum effective dose, okay? So why is this MED system so important? Well, think about it. You're probably a busy professional if you're watching this, or at the very least, a working mom with a family, which is a full-time job. And so which means you don't have a lot of spare time, right? And you definitely don't have enough time to waste time doing the wrong thing. So if you don't have enough time to do everything, you don't have enough time to do the wrong thing, and you don't know which direction to go in, well, you got a problem. And the only way to solve that is through the minimum effective dose. And I've been coaching and mentoring people for over 10 years now. And let me tell you, every person has very different circumstances, right? What I call drag on their ability to learn and develop. Some start from 0. Some have computer science degrees. Some have kids. Some don't have kids. Some have lots of free time. Some have spouses or partners who are supportive or unsupportive. All these things matter, right? Some people have to take care of elderly folks and so on. So when I design your custom learning plan, I keep all of that in mind. And also, I keep in mind the specific constraints and circumstances that you have and what you need to succeed. In fact, the MED is how my students have an almost 100% success rate at learning to code while working full-time, and those skills get them their first coding jobs. Also, my focus is on getting you to the right coding job ASAP. Why? Because then you get paid to learn the rest, right? You get paid to get more skills from inside the industry, which is way better than getting them from outside the industry. That's what I did, worked for me, and it works for my mentees too, all right? Now, the second reason why my process works so well is that it has the best of both worlds, right? The process flexes to your schedule and job and your stuff, whatever's going on. And it also comes with structure, accountability, and the support you need 24/7 from me directly, right? Now, how is this possible? Well, it's because unlike bootcamps, I work with a very few people for a sustained period of time. And unlike courses, you actually have someone, me, with you every step of the way, showing you exactly what needs to be done, when to do it, and how you need to get it done, right? It's completely personalized to you and your needs. Look, everyone realizes that standardized education is not designed for you or your needs. And it's a very old way of doing things, the factory method, right? That's why so many people have so much college debt, and after 3 years of struggle, they still don't get jobs. And 90% of what they learn in college or in the bootcamp or whatever, with all that debt, is not going to be used in the real world. Standardized education is honestly like a sausage machine, okay, where you come out the other end looking exactly like everybody else, and so you can't stand out in a crowded job market. And that is why the university and the bootcamp model is so broken. Folks don't get jobs for being factory produced anymore. Okay, it just doesn't happen. Now, another marketing myth about coding is that folks can get fancy jobs just by learning a language like Python or HTML or CSS or something, and that's enough to get them a job. That's a big mistake because, and frankly, it's a big mistake that everyone has been fooled into believing. Learning to code is enough. It's not. It never was, and it never will be. Okay, that's a complete marketing myth. There are actually 7 stages to transitioning into a coding career. Thinking that just learning some language is enough is a very superficial understanding of what skills are and how the job market pays for skills. Plus, learning to code is literally just 1 out of 7 stages. I mean, you could learn to play basketball, but it's not going to be enough to put you in the pro leagues, right? Why is that? Because learning the actual thing is not enough to get to professional level. Just learning languages or frameworks is not enough, because hundreds or thousands of people are going to apply for the same jobs that you're going to apply to, and all of them already know how to code. And still only one person gets the offer, and all the others that knew how to code don't get the offer. Why is that? Because there's a difference between knowing how to code and being good enough to get the job offer. And the reality is that most people apply for coding roles, never even hear back. Forget about getting the interview. So, do you really want to spend hundreds of hours learning to code and then find that no one even invites you to an interview? Does that really sound like a good plan to you? Look, ask any experienced software developer. Heck, just look at the comments that big tech senior engineers have put on my LinkedIn posts. Being a professional coder is much more than just knowing how to write some lines of code. Look, it took me 15 years to learn how careers and recruitment works in the real world, and I compress all that experience and insight into just a few months for you, so you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So what I'll be doing for you is auditing your current level of skills and analyzing what your target roles require, and then building you up, coding and everything else, right? All the steps, not just A to B, not just the first step or the second step, all of them, the entire bridge from A to Z, all the way. I'll build the whole thing for you, because I train you personally, I coach you, I teach you, and I mentor you for all the 7 stages that you need to actually become a coder, not just the obvious learning to write a bit of code bit. So why do I do that? Because I've been on the hiring side. Over 15 years, I've hired tons of people, and the evidence is super clear. Hiring managers in any profession, not just coding, but especially in coding, hiring managers don't just want coding literacy. They don't want someone who can write a couple of for loops. They want strong coders with diverse skills and mindsets and experience and engineering mindset, great communication, self-starting, highly organized team players. Right? In other words, they're looking for the best of the best candidates that they can find. I mean, isn't that natural? Isn't that what you'd look for when you are hiring someone, to find the absolute best that you can find? Now, that's why I'm personally coaching people. I'll be personally supporting you on that entire transition, and each stage is designed for your needs and circumstances. It has to be specific and unique to you, because no 2 people have the same goals or the same starting point. Look, it took me over 4 years of tutorial hell before I did that boot camp for just 1 week and I quit. And then after that, it took me 8 months before I got my first 4 coding offers. Now, my students achieved the same results as me in 1/5 the time max. Let's put that in context, okay? What took me more than 50 months, more than 4 years to do, my students managed to do in an average of 6 to 12 months. And they do it with more confidence and certainty than I ever had. Plus, they earn more money much sooner than I did, because they get their coding jobs faster, and that means they get to senior roles faster than I did. And you can do all this too without having to quit your job and be unemployed and live off savings or your partner, because working with the right plan and structure is faster, cheaper, and better for your career. You just got to follow the plan, that yellow brick road that I'm going to lay down for you. Now, let's talk about the future of tech very quickly. Okay, here's the data from TrueUp as of June 2024, and it tracks the state of layoffs. It's peaked. You can see that now layoffs are declining, right? So we're past the worst. Now, I've seen this same graph 3 times in 4 industries in the last 20 years, right? The exact same graph happened in banking and finance, in manufacturing, in logistics, and even in law back when I was a lawyer during the GFC, the Great Financial Crisis. So basically, the tech sector just went through what every other sector has been through. And kind of frankly, it needed to go on a diet. Okay. It had way overhired. And when the profits didn't show up for all these products that they hired for during the pandemic, well, the not profitable products got cut. Engineering didn't disappear. It's just that specific jobs in engineering got axed, and those engineers found jobs elsewhere. What the data does not show is that those teams do get rehired. For example, I have a colleague who did get cut from Google, right? She got laid off. She got a severance and then had a 4-month holiday with a baby. And then she got rehired in another part of Google for 30% more money. She got a severance, a holiday, and a 30% pay rise from the same company, just different teams. So what's my point? My point is that the layoffs were nasty for lots. They are a very unpleasant thing, and it's not specific to tech. All industries have had severe layoffs, but there are literally tens of thousands of jobs for good engineers, and that continues to grow. And here's my proof, right? This is also June 2024 data. That's the number of engineering jobs in the US alone. So here's the simple truth, folks, because the internet is not going away. Commerce is not going away. Internet commerce is not going away. It's easier to build products than ever before in human history. Engineering is not going away. And that's why I'm still an engineer. And yes, I have a day job. I love it. I work remotely and all of that. But look, I didn't leave the law to get into a dead-end career in my late 30s. I made the switch to have my dream career for the next 30 to 40 years so that I can earn plenty of money for my retirement years. Okay? That's why I'm still in tech. So look, go ahead, and if this is right for you, if you feel that I'm the sort of person you want to talk to, great. Hit that call booking button below, all right? You won't regret it. And in case you're wondering just who these calls are for, well, because I'm looking to help with people changing career, I don't work with students in uni, right? I am one of the best mentors in the world for career change because I've actually done it myself 3 times. Right? I'm not some empty guru just teaching stuff that I've never done or don't know anything about. I get the best results for folks who've already got some work history behind them because I can use that to their advantage. And I want to work with folks, possibly like you, who want to build a great career and not just get rich quick. So I would love to work with you if you're a busy professional and you're totally serious about learning how to code at a pro level. And you really, really want to fast track your career change into coding, whatever type it is, right? It could be data science, web development, front end, back end, Web3, whatever. Look, you've seen my results and the testimonials that I've shared with you earlier. You can look me up on the internet. You can look me up on Google. You can look me up on LinkedIn. I got results because I give my mentees a lot of personal, direct attention over many months. But the truth is, I don't know if I can help you, and I don't know if I can get you the results you're looking for until we actually spend some time on a call to understand your specific situation. So if you really are looking for someone to take a personal interest to guide you all the way from wherever you are right now to a professional coder in the next 6 to 12 months, using a flexible schedule where you get to maintain your job, but build your plan on top of a solid set of coding goals, and you maintain your income, that's great, right? So all you got to do is find the button on this page that will help you schedule your free call with me and my team. Look, just to be really clear, there's no risk for you, right? There's only upside. If you decide to schedule a call, great. But if not, that's fine too. It's your life, it's your career. You get to choose what's right for you. You get to decide what you're willing to do and not do for your dreams. But if you've been trying and you've been struggling for some time and you're still not getting the results that you feel you deserve after all that effort, well, maybe it's time for you to get some help. Just think about it. Your biggest risk is actually not taking enough action, right? That is, it's not taking the steps you need to take to fix a problem. Because then if you don't take the action, you're guaranteed to fail. Failure is guaranteed, right? There's nothing wrong, guys, with not knowing how to fix a problem. There's no shame in needing help and reaching out for it. Every single one of us needs help. Heck, I still work with coaches even now, year after year. In fact, successful people, all the ones that I've known, are the ones that keep asking for help no matter what level of the ladder they're on, no matter how high up they are. So click that button and let's find some time to look at your situation and answer any questions you've got. And like I said, it's a free call. You've got nothing to lose. So I look forward to speaking with you and I wish you the very best of luck. Don't stop moving forward and have a super day. All right, bye.